Holy crap. It's been a while since I've shown you the van, isn't it? And it could have been a damn sight longer as well, because as you can probably tell, I'm adding in this audio whilst I'm editing it, because when editing it, I found that the audio wasn't very good because I was using the wrong mic when I was recording it. Anyway, this should be a good video in and of itself. I want to show you how I've changed the van, and not very much, just little additions I've made since I'm using it in anger, because I am using it in anger. And through use is when you find these little improvements you can make. So I'm going to give you a show around the inside, show you the tweaks I've made, give you a show around the outside, and then give it one final wash for you. Time rating's looking okay, isn't it? Okay, so the first addition is this little shelf here. Now that is for these yellow tiles, which I put on the floor. So, a couple of little eyelets there either side with a bungee to hold them in place. I put these under the wheels of the car to lift them off the ground slightly so I can wash and dress the whole tyre without having to move it. But I also connect them together and use them on surfaces when I'm pressure washing mats so you don't get mud all over them from the ground. That's the first thing. Let's pull you back out then, show you where the pressure washer and DI tank go. Okay, so where does my pressure washer and my deionized water vessel go? Well, firstly, the thing I'm going to say is I typically fill my water tank in the van with deionized water. But sometimes I'm using some of the customer's water supply rather than using my own, and other times I need to refill the tank while I'm out. So I carry the water vessel with me. So I put it in here, and I've got a couple of eyelets in on the side, and then you can see we just put this bungee around them. It doesn't do a whole lot in terms of, it keeps them in place loosely, but it's actually an incredibly tight fit between that and the door card. So when I shut the van, it stops the pressure washer moving backwards and forwards, and between the bungee and the outlet from the water tank, it stops the DI vessel moving as well. So that's really good. I think I mentioned before I had to take the hose reel off the top of the pressure washer because there's no way of fitting that in there. But also that hose reel didn't have a jumper hose into the outlet of the pressure washer, so you always had to unwind the full hose anyway. So there's no point having that on there. And something else I had to do was chop off a couple of little arms on the other side that were there for winding the power cable round. So it was just like an inch too deep to shut the door comfortably. Those little arms were pressing against the inside of the door card. Removing those has made that absolutely fine, and it's working an absolute treat. Zooming a little bit further, you can see that there's a little hook here. Now, at the moment, you can just see that the outlet from the water tank is on there, but also this is where I keep my pressure washer hose and also my extension cable. Alright, so what's new up here then? Well, firstly, put this bit of Perspex sheeting I had left over on the side to protect the shelving I've got from any spills or damp equipment I put up there, just to make sure the ply doesn't get damaged. Wasn't too sure what I was going to put up there when I initially put it in, but eventually I've gone with the pressure washer gun and the foam lance. I've got a couple of those double hooks. And then over to the side there, using a bit of the van's interior construction, I found that a couple of the long drop hooks I can have from IKEA, they're actually there for holding kitchen utensils on any of their rails, I found was a good place to put my long wheel brushes. So my Easy Brush and my Viken soft brush between the wheel faces lives there. And now we're going to look at the other side. You can see here, this is where my shorter brushes hang. These are all kind of wheel cleaning related ones. So I've got the Tough Shine tyre brush there, I've got a stiff brush which I use for some areas, sometimes internally as well, and I've got the mini Easy Detail brush. Then in this storage container, which was in the original van, or in the van originally I should say, I've got my regularly used chemicals, so some Polestar, some Surface HD, some Auto Wheel, some window cleaner, some Anachem Cleanse mild wheel cleaner, and some shampoo water mix, as well as my inspection light and some Holt's tyre weld for my spare tyre. Well, actually for my tyres, because I don't have a spare tyre, so if I get a puncture. And what I'm looking at here is some rubber sheeting I put down. Now, if you remember, I used to have this overhead tool storage gantry in the back of this, and this was inside that. So I took it out, cut it down to size, stuck it down with a bit of impact adhesive from Screwfix, and that's holding up really well. because this is where I put my buckets and stuff, and this is wet equipment, and it's protecting the ply again from underneath. Not too much to change on this side, still using it the way I intended to really. The boxes here and the polishers, I've got my cloths, applicators, some spare chemicals, drying towels, etc, etc. I've got a spare bit of perspex here to do a similar thing as I did on the other side, just to protect the plywood, although this side needs trimming down and cutting perspex is a bit of a pain, as I haven't done it yet. I'm using the other storage bin that I had from the van originally that I've painted up and protected. In there I've got various bits for filming, nozzles for the vacuum cleaner, bungee cords and some oil for the generator. That could be used better, I think. What I have got above that though is hangers for my detailing brushes. You're going to notice all of my detailing brushes hang down rather than point up. You'll see a lot of detailers' vans have the brushes pointing up. This is really bad practice. So I tell you now, bit of the PSA, if your brushes are pointing upwards and they are wet when you put them away, and they will be because you'll never get them bone dry, the water will seep into whatever holds the bristles in, it will expand and contract and expand and contract. That is usually wood, so it will split the collars and the bristles will eventually fall out, therefore shortening the life of them. So never, ever have them pointing up, always have them hanging down. Talking of down, let's go and have a look at the generator. Again, not a whole lot has changed, but what I've put in is some battens either side and at the back to keep the generator in place during transit a bit more, also hold it in place once it's running, because it seems to go all over the place, especially when you turn an appliance on. The real surge in demand from the generator, if something has to work hard, it rocks all over the place. So, bearing in mind I've got this petrol generator, something else I fitted is this, a fire extinguisher. £15 from Screwfix. Seems like a really silly thing not to have, a very sensible thing to have, and having it located right next to the thing that's probably going to cause the fire seems to be a very sensible point as well. This is a powdered one, I believe, or a foam one. Anyway, it's the relevant one for the use it's designed for. Great, so you've seen the space. Now let me show you how I fit all the stuff in it. One of the things I hadn't shown you so far was where I put my big containers of products. So these are the 5 litre jerry cans. I've got down there, I've got Auto Foam or Touchless, Surfex HD, Corosol, Auto Wheel, bit of Malco Break Off and some Valet Pro Bilberry concentrate as well. So it happens to be a great gap for many of the 5 litre size containers. Also, this is where the step up goes. Now, due to a minor miscalculation, this is an incredibly tight fit. It's getting slightly looser each time because the gripper tape that I've put on top of my aluminium step up is slowly sanding away the space. But it fits incredibly snugly at the moment, as you can probably imagine, and it goes nowhere. I've done emergency stops, I've been hustling the van around just to see what the strapping in at the internals was like to make sure I wasn't going to lose anything, and nothing has budged so far, so I'm very, very pleased about that. And for anyone questioning, I did that in a safe environment in a car park when the shop was closed. Now we're getting into the last bits here. This is the hose for the vacuum cleaner that goes on top of the gazebo. I haven't bothered taking the gazebo out of view because it weighs an absolute ton, and the fewer times I have to do that, the better. All I can say is it fits and it doesn't go anywhere. That's a good thing. Talking of the gazebo, these are the side panels. They live in this bag here. Currently, I'm placing these in this area. What I might do is put a furniture moving dolly in here instead, with a few battens on the side, and that could be my bucket dolly. So yeah, that could work, move both of them at once. We shall see. Watch this space, or my Instagram feed. And that's the inside done, so let's talk about the outside. Well, it's all been side written, as you can see. Got logos on each door either side. I've got the services I offer at the back there. I've got social media icons. I've got my phone number and a contact email address down below, and the like and subscribe. Do it now. Yep. And a big logo on the bonnet. And, well, let's go and have a look at the back, shall we? Similar story around the back. Phone number, email address, company logo, social media icons. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I think it looks really good. Of course I'm biased, I designed it, but I think it suits the vehicle and it suits my brand. So I'm really, really pleased. It's looking a bit dirty though, isn't it? So how about we get into giving this thing one final wash for you? You'd be interested in that, wouldn't you? You know, seeing how good Nova Luster is at being cleaned. Oh, I think so.